So I moved to Riverhead about 11 years ago, and at the time it was, everyone's like, oh, you're going to be so happy, it's coming up, it's doing all these things, it's revitalizing. And then slowly as we were here, we watched businesses close, and we watched doors close and windows go blank, and it was a little bit upsetting to have my children here and bring them to this community. And especially because I knew how fabulous this community was. Being a downtown resident, I spent a lot of time walking, spent a lot of time on Main Street, and had only had positive interactions, had really seen just great people here. And so when we saw an opportunity to kind of tie into a town that really was now about 45 years ago, really seeing the revitalization coming. You could feel it, it was almost palpable. You could feel this change coming to Riverhead. And so we were able to, we hooked up with a group called I Love Riverhead, which was run by Nancy Sweat, and started to get to meet people who really loved Riverhead and wanted to be tied into this town and wanted to see this revitalization be a success, and were willing to do the work to make it happen. Amy and I love this town. Our husbands love this town. We're both downtown residents. We wanted to have something for our children to want to stay in Riverhead when they got older. We firmly believe that you should leave the earth a little bit better than how you found it. The garden didn't come in until we had already had the idea for about a year or two. We were surprised then at how we presumed difficult it was to get the garden going as far as bureaucracy, but now looking back on it, we're shocked that anybody was willing to give us a giant piece of town land on the river when they had no idea who we were, and we had we have no political background. We are, as far as Riverhead standards, we're very new to town. We lobbied, we showed up, we got a lot of support, we tried to bring local business owners on board, and the town was amazing. As a matter of fact, the Deputy Supervisor, Jill Lewis, is really the driving force that helped us make it through a lot of hoops that we wouldn't have even known existed, let alone how to get through them. And she was amazing. And then Cornell Cooperative Extension, they reached out to us when they saw what we were doing, saw an article in the local paper, and reached out and said, we have this new grant called Creating Healthy Places to Live, Work, and Play, and it ties in directly to community gardening. Almost every single business that we went to, if not every single business that we went to, donated that year to us to do a basket, so that we could do the raffles at the fundraiser. And since then, it just hasn't stopped. It's wherever you go, these generous, amazing people from Griffin Hardware who provides discounts to our gardeners, and all the way to all the different Gabrielson's greenhouses, which let us the first year grow everything in the greenhouse. And when a rodent came in and ate our seedlings, he then donated flats and flats of vegetables for our gardeners. We've made so many friends, and really brought a lot of people in the community together who otherwise I don't think would have spent time together. Some octogenarians in our garden. We have pregnant moms in our garden. And then across the border we have different races, different religions, and different ethnicities, and it has been really nice when you have a potluck to have the different families come down and have a shared ground to start talking on. So it may be like, oh, has there been a particular weed that's been bothering you this year, or is there something that you see in somebody else's bed that's growing that, wow, I'd really like to grow that, who's growing it and what is it, and and it's a conversation starter for people who maybe never would have sat down at all, and now they're breaking bread together and developing this community, and it's been a blessing to be a part of. It has really opened our eyes to the generosity and the support and the belief that people have in Riverhead.